quelqu'un qui pense à lui. Et cette petite fille qui joue, qui ne veut plus jamais.
With over 500 avifauna species living within luxurious woodlands, the Gambia is the definite bird-watching haven, calling for fleeting respites, indulging in nature's charms. It's great to have you back on the expedition. I am Ibrahim Chata. On this edition of the expedition, I will be exploring the melee of avifauna species on this mountain coast.
They nest in dead trees. They sort of like excavate nests.
Yes, okay.
They peck
yes,
a hole through,
and
then they nest inside.
Okay. That's the expedition on a bird watching spree. Coming up after this break.
Hi, I'm Lara and I'm here on holiday in the Gambia on the Smiling Coast. This program is brought to you by...
We're back again on the expedition with me, Ibrahim Jata, discovering the charming and characterful outlook of this smiling coast. Now, on any given day, birding is one of the finest ways to discover nature's enchantment and delights on this smiling coast, with a maze of avifauna species coming in a wide variety. A birding excursion will give you just the delight you're looking for on this smiling coast, making every moment remarkable and unforgettable. Now we're actually in the west coast region of the Gambia, which attracts scores of bird species with its green and natural backdrops and beautiful shoreline. It's just the place to spend the better half of the day. A melee of chirping birds singing dissimilar songs in one big and luxuriantly green habitat. Birders quickly scan the area, moving slowly and stealthily through the underbrush to identify the assorted species inhabiting the spot, with binoculars all set and poised to track the concealed avifauna. The lead guide suddenly sights a known variety and calls out its name, giving concise details of the bird's character and its precise location on the lavish vegetation.
Of seeing a yellow-crowned bishop in its breeding plumage. So you don't expect to see a yellow-crowned bishop in this, let's say in early January, February in the same plumage. So they lose their plumage automatically as soon as the rain season goes off.
How would it look in the dry season?
In the dry season, they look, they will have, their body pattern will be streaky, will be very well streaky marking and a strong crown on the head. In this area here, you expect to see a yellow-crowned bishop here. If you move forward in the woodland here, it's possible to see a northern red bishop as well and a black-winged bishop as well. So, but they only get their plumages in this time of the year because of their breeding. Okay. So this helps the female to identify the male, to know that this is a male. And every male will occupy a huge territory, maybe a 50 or 100 meter yard, whereby no other male will come around that area.
This looks like a waterlogged area.
Yes.
So are they attracted to water, field areas?
Yes, they are very attracted to rice fields and wet areas like this. Is a famous habitat for them. Okay. This is where they breed. Why? It's simply the reason why, because their nests, if they put their nest on reeds, humans cannot access it, so it's protective. It's like a security for them.
Meanwhile, every birder is attempting a better view of the bird, watching and delighting in its open and unchecked freedom at home in the shrubbery. It's birding in the natural habitat, a refreshing activity rousing deep connections to the natural world. You say it's a fish-eating bird?
It's a fish-eating bird. What in long-tailed cormorants, they dive in for fish, you know.
Okay.
They can swim inside for, you know, about 10-30 seconds without coming out.
How different are they from the kingfisher?
Yeah, they are very different from the kingfishers because kingfishers will hover up and jump in, you know. Cormorants will swim down and follow the
Different
fish.
ways of hunting.
Yes, and they have waterproof feathers which enables them to dry up quickly as soon as they come out. And if they feed, cormorants, if they eat until they are full with food, they fly up onto the high, very high on the sky.
Very resilient bird, very strong bird.
Very strong bird. Okay. So, you know, that's the way they digest. They will fly up, you know, keep shoring there until, you know, they digest themselves and come down as well.
How many varieties of this bird do we have?
You know, in the Gambia, we have, you know, this is the most common one, the long-tailed cormorant. But we have the great cormorant as well, which is a migrant, you know, European migrant one. So in early, you know, February, March, you know, you start seeing them as well, you know.
It's fantastic. And the interesting thing is if you see them excavating their nest,
Yes.
which is normally dead trees.
Where do they usually nest? On?
Oh, they nest in dead trees. They sort of like excavate nest.
Yes, okay.
They peck
Yes,
a hole through,
and
then they nest inside. So they sort of like be territorial. They're very loyal to their nesting site.
Very clever bird.
It is very smart, and they would feed on fruits. They're fruit eaters. And if you look on the sides of the beak, it's sort of like it's got whiskers, which is mainly used for cleaning fruits or dirty
That's the
stuff.
only variety of it we have.
Oh, we have several varieties, and we have the bearded barbet, we have the Velos barbet as well, and the other ones also you have in Casamas, which is the hairy-breasted.
This one is
the yellow-fronted barbet, or yellow-fronted tinkerbird, which is recently called tinkerbird.
Connections to the natural world. These are members of the bird-watching group called Habitat Africa, exploring the avifora riches of the West Coast region.
I have taken this initiation to take them round into the country, which is sponsored by myself, to take them all the bird watching areas to see the different type of birds after the season.
An association at the forefront of bird watching activities in the Gambia. It is significantly attached to the local tourism industry, helping to immensely exhibit, trace and record the maze of every fauna species we have in the country. But tracing is just a mere part of the wider scheme. The organization has a greater objective to effectively conserve the maze of bird species in the country in order to aid the greater preservation of the country's biodiversity. Now, here we are with Mr. Solomon Jallo. He is the former president of the association, which is immensely going out to trace and record the maze of bird species in the Gambia. Now, thank you so much for joining us on the expedition, Mr. Jallo.
Thank you.
Now, this is a customary, excursion, which you, embark on every year. But this year, what is the main thrust?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ibrahima. Today we are here in Kartong, and this is a different